It is wrong to tell a young person who doesn't have any money in his pocket, who needs some grounding, that they should not look for a job. They should not wait for a job to be created. They should go and create a job. Nobody would want to take their hard-earned money to give to someone who at least has not decided that I need help, and so I will look like someone who will do something good with the help that is given to them. You push somebody, they push you. You respect someone, they respect you. You take care of somebody, they take care of you. That is how things work. And that is how it works in life. All I'm asking you is, imagine what would happen if all of us in our country here, we all went through, perhaps not the same experience, but something similar. If we all went through something similar, imagine what would happen. This country, Ghana, has possibilities. It has possibilities. We have no reason to have people like you sit in a university like this and wonder that when you leave here, would you find a job? And if I can rise from where I came, then why can't you be 10 times bigger than I am? Unfortunately, when I hear a lot of people talk and are giving advice to students or young people, what they tell them is, oh, don't wait to become an employee. Don't wait for someone to create a job. Go and become an entrepreneur yourself. It's the wrong advice. I hear religious ministers saying it, business people say it, politicians say it, all manner of people say it. It is wrong to tell a young person who doesn't have any money in his pocket, who needs some grounding, that they should not look for a job. They should not wait for a job to be created. They should go and create the job. It is the responsibility of society for society to put down all those measures, all of those things that will make it possible for entrepreneurs to thrive, to expand, to do well, so that they can create many jobs for the people looking for them. So let me say straightforward, I didn't start off life as an entrepreneur. I started off life as an employee. And indeed, I remember my first job, very first job out of school in December 1975, was with a life insurance company called Northwestern Mutual Life in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I remember it because when I went there, the people told me, forget about your education. That got you through the door. That made you get a seat. Once we have given you a seat, you have to perform. You have to learn what we do and do it well. You have to be disciplined, get here on time, finish your work before you leave. You have to respect our rules. You have to do everything we ask of you. That is what will make you a good employee or an employee of good standing in this company. Your degree just became your passport to this company. And I learned that very well. And indeed, while I was there, that organization gave me the opportunity that if I wanted to get a master's degree, I can go to school in the evening. But they also were very quick to add that should you get that degree, it would only enhance your knowledge. It would not enhance your position within this company. So you must work your performance, your output. That is what they were looking for. And how you carried yourself and promoted the integrity of the company, that is what they were interested in. And then they also said, this is an insurance company. For you to be an insurance person, you should start studying in your spare time so that you can get an insurance certificate. There's something called the Life Office Management Association, LOMA Institute. And so we studied so we could get a certificate. Some go on to get a diploma and become associates and so on and so forth. Once again, when I got my certificate, they said, you've done very well. But remember, it is what you do here, how well you perform, that is important. What I'm trying to say to you is this, that whatever job that you get, how you perform that job, how well you do, it is what determines what else you are going to do from there. And so if you are able to work and help somebody's business to do well, then you are learning what it is that is needed to become an entrepreneur. When you learn to keep somebody's business well, for them to grow, when you are a good employee, when you are disciplined where you are, when you perform well, then you are learning those life skills, those skills that you would need to take care of your own business. And so I went on from there, worked for Blue Cross of Blue Shield of Wisconsin, worked for a municipal organization before I joined Deloitte, at that time called Touche Ross. And Deloitte started off as an associate, and an associate is one who carries the bags of the seniors. They tell you to sit, you sit. They tell you to collect the papers, you collect the papers. They tell you to sit there and do some research, you better do it well. And they ask you to speak, you speak. When they say shut up, you shut up. You don't go in a meeting and start talking with your clients when the seniors are talking. So you learn how to be in your proper place and take care of things for other people. And you help your seniors to go up, be promoted. When your seniors are promoted and you do well for them, they also remember you, that you are down there, that also needs to be promoted. That is how life works. That is how life works. You push somebody else so that you too can be pushed. You learn that you are learning what it takes to be a successful entrepreneur. Because an entrepreneur or an owner is not alone. We mentioned a number of different companies. I can't do them by myself. I must have managers, supervisors, employees. If I were to stand somewhere and pretend that I alone can do the work, well, the employees will also say, aha, he alone should do the work. Let's leave it for him. Then where will the business be? So you learn, you push somebody, they push you. You respect someone, they respect you. You take care of somebody, they take care of you. That is how things work. And that is how it works in life. And so after going through all of that, then being promoted to become a partner in the firm, a partner you learn. You have to go and look for jobs. You have to bring jobs into the company. You have to learn how to do it technically and how to collect your money. So it is after going through all of that and coming back to Ghana that I took a look around and said, there's a need here, there's a need there, there's a need there. But there are some things I can't do. So which comes the very first thing that I'm interested in as far as anybody who wants to be an entrepreneur is concerned. If you go and start a business and you don't like the industry or you don't like what the business does, it's not going to work. It won't work. So you start something in an area that you have an interest in. And so, as I said, just two things. One is to say that we shouldn't tell our young people to start off in life by being entrepreneurs. There are some people that have bright ideas that can't wait. They sacrifice and they get things going through innovation, something that hasn't come before. But the people like Bill Gates, how many of them do we have in the world? They are less than 0.5% of the entire world's population that are like that. The rest of us are ordinary human beings. We have to go through life the ordinary way. Okay, the ordinary way. You work for somebody, gain some experience, and gain something else, and then move on. And move on. And then if you're working for someone and you want to start your own business, you don't steal their time, you don't steal their money, you don't steal their clients, you go and start your own. Because you steal somebody's clients, you steal somebody's money, you steal somebody's time, well, you watch out. Someone else has been watching. Somebody else will also start stealing your time, your money, your clients, and it goes on and on and on. It's part of the discipline. So for me, those are the things that are important. What I hope we will rather do in this country is to support the business people who are there. And the ones who have come up, whoever shows up and they show promise, let's support them. Let's support them. Let's encourage them. Let's make them expand so they can create more jobs. Interestingly enough, as more businesses come, as they create more jobs, it rather brings more opportunities. Brings more opportunities. It isn't the 3 or 5 or 10 or 20 good ones that are going to create opportunities for everybody. But if we have them multiply, a lot more opportunities will come. If you come to Elmina, we have started a small industrial estate there. We've started some things there. And what we have started, I'm hoping somebody else will come and say, well, this business is here. So because it is here, I will also add something to it. I know the women and the men who sell things, food and whatever else, as soon as you start something, they come. It's become an opportunity. And I'm believing that other people too will come. I know the government says it is building a sugar factory in Comenda. I'm watching it carefully. But as I'm watching it grow, I'm also thinking, that sugar factory, when it shows up, what else can I do? What else can somebody also do to add to it so that it can become something a lot better and a lot bigger than just a sugar factory sitting there? That is the sort of mentality that we need to have. When we have that, when we do that, then the jobs that you are looking for and other people are looking for, they will be there. They will be there. And the teachers wouldn't even worry about going to find a job anywhere because we will need more teachers in the system. More teachers in the system, and we wouldn't have issues such as freezing employment and all of those kinds of things. Because I know teachers, where I grew up, teachers could have cars, buy houses, do all sorts of things. That's what many of us are looking for. So that's number one. The second thing I'll say very quickly, and then I'll sit down. I always look at people like yourselves anywhere, and I say, well, where would I be? Where would I be if I couldn't get the opportunity to go to school without education? In Chamoso, Miyawana. I'm from there, Elmina. Many of you come there, some of you come to relax, some go to the castle, and so on and so forth. So when you see a man my age in Elmina, imagine that it's me. It's me. Whether the person is a fisherman or is just walking the streets or whatever the case might be. I'm one of them. It is education. And education, we can't deny it of anybody. And don't also underestimate the influence of teachers. Because I know both my parents were teachers. I know what they did for many people. And many people are grateful even today. They see me in Prestia or in Navrongo or somewhere. They said, I know your father. I know what your father did for me, but you don't know. The influence of a teacher is a wonderful one. It's a wonderful one. But what education does for you, you can't imagine what it does. And so anywhere I go to speak, I'm doing a crusade that says our Constitution guarantees that every child must go to school, that it will be compulsory, and that it will be free for that child, according to the Constitution, through basic school. That is what the Constitution says. But we have turned it into, like Makola, like a market, a Constitution. That if I like this part, I do it. If I don't like that part, I don't do it. All I am suggesting to you as my final word is that you should join with the people crying for free compulsory education, not to basic school, but to the end of senior high school. And that should not be a political matter. It should be a survival matter for all of us as Ghanaians. Because when I go to the US, Obama has gone past high school. He's now saying that every child in America, they will make sure that you get free 2 years after high school if you want to go to a community college or anything of that sort, free for 2 years. And here we are. Most of our children, where are we? Not even basic school. And we want to compete with them. It's not possible. It's not possible. So the two things. Number one, being an employee is a good thing. It's important to learn life skills as an employee, then you can move up. Number two, education. Let's not deny education to any child, whether they are boy, girl, blind, cripple, whatever. Everybody must go to school. And once again, I'm grateful for the opportunity to be here. If you hear of any one of the companies that we have, just know that it is Ghanaians that we are using to do our work. It's not some foreigners. It's not some foreigners. This thing here, this Ocean One thing, as an example. I'm not an expert in this stuff, the television things. But now you can learn. You can learn these things. So you get the idea. We gave it to some of our own young people that figure it out, that we don't want a TV channel in Accra or in Kumasi. We want it in Elmina. So figure it out how to get it done. And in 6 weeks, they were able to figure it out. And it's, so those of you who know, it's free to air in this area. And they are doing it. And if you had asked me 3 years ago, I couldn't tell you how something like that would work. Now I know. Okay, so the ideas are there. They need a push. And the people too, they are there. They need opportunity. So if we do all the things that we all know needs to be done, it's wonderful. There are some 5 things I want to discuss with you this evening. There are 5 of them. So the first one I want you to understand is, who am I? And why is it that my company, myself, we are making investments in this country when we are all saying life is hard in Ghana? And truly, these are hard times, difficult times in Ghana. And sometimes when I meet young people like yourselves, I must say I feel sorry for you, because these are difficult times. Because these are difficult times, you must work harder to try and get what is it that you want out of life. And that's one of the reasons why I accepted the invitation to be here this evening, so I can share just a few thoughts with you. Perhaps some of it might help you. You know, when things are difficult for you, what you do is that you put on your best clothes, you put on your best behavior, you clean everything, and you make sure everybody knows that life has not beaten you, that you are okay, that you are ready to work, you are ready to do any and everything to move ahead. And for me, it is one of the important lessons in life, that when other people are sleeping, that is when you stay awake to prepare yourself. When everybody is crying that there is nothing that can be done, that is when you decide that you will make something out of the difficulty that everybody else is going through. I have a few friends, and they know that I'm part of a financial institution, GNR. He will come to me, and then he will want something, some help. But he comes to me, and I look at him, and I say, but the way you have approached me, if you go to the bank, they will send you away. And he wasn't pleased to hear that. But I want to say that to you, that when you are in difficulty and you need to go to a bank, or you go to someone who can assist, that is not the time for you to wear your dirty clothes, or for you to wear the clothes that have some things torn here and there. That is not the time to go and look sorrowful. Nobody would want to take their hard-earned money to give to someone who at least has not decided that I need help, and so I will look like someone who will do something good with the help that is given to them, or the support that is given. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because when you need help, that is when you put on your best clothes, you shine your shoes, you comb your hair, you put on your best, nicest smile, and you go to wherever you need to go, and you tell them, I am here. Yes, I am down, but I'm ready to move on and put whatever you give me to good use. I am glad and happy to be here. As has been said before, my father was a teacher, my mother was a teacher. As a matter of fact, my mother, she made me know what teachers go through. She was a head teacher for several years, and at some point in time, every weekend, she would do all of her paperwork, all the registry, the things to do in the register, and every now and then she asked me to help her go through to make sure that everything was done well. So I got to understand a little bit what teachers went through at that point. But I also know the lives of teachers and how teachers do things to make ends meet. So I understand that point as well. But I also have a deep appreciation for what teachers can do. Because those teachers who served me well, particularly at St. Augustine's, they are people I remember every time, because they made a deep and lasting impression on me, and I'm sure on many other people. So being a teacher definitely is a good profession to be in. So if you have noticed, you know that I do business, and then every now and then I do a little politics. On the political side, if you listen to what I say, you would hear that I don't just talk about, oh, we'll do something for students or whatever. I also say we'll do something for teachers, because I know that it is important. And so if you go and read what I said in 2012, now it's become almost a mantra about free, continuous, compulsory education from kindergarten to the end of senior high school. It doesn't just talk about some sort of free education, but it talks about building compounds, complete compounds everywhere. The type that I had the opportunity to live in, but then in the compound to have housing for teachers as well. Because without it, the equation is not complete. I had the fortune of going from Form 4 at that time in St. Augustine's to spend my last year of school, that is in the American system, senior high school, last year, the 12th grade, in the US. So I spent 1 year. And that experience has stuck with me in so many different ways. I want to share that with you. Because I went there, as I said, after Form 4, instead of going to Form 5. And when I arrived, this small community, it's a very small community called Cokato in Minnesota, in the US. It's with less than 5,000 people in that community. And there, they had a school compound that had people from kindergarten, and you continued all the way through high school. First day to go to school, the people I stayed with, the man was a lawyer, the woman was a teacher in the school. They had a car, but we were not allowed, or they were not allowed, to take me or their children to school in their private car. It was mandatory for all of us to sit in the school bus that was provided by the town council, to go to school. So that's point number one. That town, less than 5,000 people, was able to provide a bus to take all the students to go to the school that went from kindergarten to the end of senior high school. When we got to the school, my first day in school, they sent me to the school nurse. The school nurse then did blood pressure, everything else, and they tested my eyes. The woman looked at me and said, well, how did you manage to come all the way from Africa to the US with your eyes in this condition? I didn't know that I had any problems with my eyes. But they took me to an eye specialist and got me glasses to wear. And when they put the glasses on me, the whole world changed. Because obviously I've been walking around with bad eyesight, and I didn't know. So that's number two that I got, was a health check and the ability to now see clearly what was going on in the world. Number three, we started classes. So went to physics class. And there were about 12 of us in the physics lab. And I looked around, there was nobody else. And come and see equipment. There is equipment to do anything, any experiment, and we were doing it. I said, but this was tough for me at St. Augustine's. But it's so easy here. What was the difference? The difference was at St. Augustine's, they were teaching us these difficult things from a textbook. So you had to imagine all sorts of things. And I'm from Elmina. Imagination, it was hard to come by. And so I was suffering at St. Augustine's. And here it's almost like it was Christmas. Everything I was looking for was there. You go to chemistry lab, everything is there. And they say, hey, what a wonderful student. I say, hey, me, they're calling me a wonderful student. The difference is the facilities were available. The same person, but the facilities were there. So I was doing well. Now, my point number 4. It comes lunchtime. At lunchtime, they said, we're going to the lunch room. So we go to the lunch room, and my experience is adolescence. The experience in school. And here we are. There's no line. You just want to say, oh, do you want a hamburger? Do you want a hot dog? Or do you want this? And I'm sitting there, hey. I have come all the way from Elmina, and they are asking me, which one of these things do I want? It's a choice. It's a choice. Now, this is high school. I'm not talking university or something else. And they are giving me a choice. And, and then at the end of the school, they will say, oh, do you want to, after school, everybody does some recreational activity, either sports or football, American football or soccer, or you go and run or something. And you go to the physical education area, and everything is there. If you want to play basketball, the basketballs are there, the attire, everything is there. Whatever it is, it's all there. So I'm also looking. I'll tell you a strange story. These people, they look at me. They say, we have an African man who has arrived. So what do you think they want the African man to do? To run. Hey, they want me to run in America. And they say, no, the people they knew, who do you think they knew? They knew the long-distance runners from Kenya. So they were looking at me, but they were seeing a long-distance runner from Kenya. And me, I have never run any long distance anywhere. So they put some things on me, and they said, oh, they are doing cross-country. They put me there. And what I didn't know was that cross-country is several miles. So we start, and the people I was living with, they were all there cheering. So they go 1 round, and I'm in front. They are all clapping. Go 2 rounds. I'm dropping back a little bit. They are still clapping. 3 rounds, and they are looking for me. Now I'm realizing all the energy is gone. I'm not a long distance runner. Eventually, I found my proper thing. So eventually, ended up doing sprints and also doing triple jump. But the point I'm trying to make is that, take a look. Same person leaves Elmina, goes there, and I go through a whole different experience because the facilities are there and because the opportunity is there. Now, imagine what would happen and what would happen in Ghana if in every village, here I'm talking about a town with less than 5,000 people. These people, they elected their own board of education. They collected their own taxes locally. They hired their own sheriff, which is their own police. They did all of those things themselves. And they were farmers. So I'm not talking about some super, whatever, intelligent or whatever people. Regular people like you and I. So they took care of everything. All I'm asking you is, imagine what would happen if all of us in our country here, we all went through, perhaps not the same experience, but something similar. If we all went through something similar, imagine what would happen. Then we wouldn't be sitting here. We wouldn't be sitting here wondering, when you get out of this school, what you would do. you wouldn't be wondering, because there would be jobs available for you to go through. There wouldn't be the issue of, is there an embargo or not? And I was listening to an official from GES. You're from GES? Yes. They're talking about it takes time to put you on a payroll. My friends, this is a problem that we have. I know that problem because I was in government. But that problem is a little problem. It's a little problem that should not be there. That is, if all of our systems worked, and I'm sure the gentleman from the it's ICAG, right? You know, I started off as a junior accountant, not with Deloitte. At that time, the company was called Touche Ross. Okay, it was Touche Ross and Deloitte Haskins and Sells that combined to become Deloitte and Touche. So I started off as a beginning accountant, carrying the books and the files and whatever for the senior accountants, and going up to do audits. Except that at some point I branched from the auditing side to go to the consulting side. But the point is that they know, the professionals know, that many of the things that we need to do, they are possible. Because if you come to a private organization, the things that we need to do, we know how to do them. We do them. We have, our group has over 3,000 employees. So if you go to GN Bank today has more than 1,300 employees, and they are all over Ghana. So I'm just trying to do a small comparison. And it's not as if they are in Accra and Tema. If you go to Wachao today, we have employees there. We have employees in Wedana, which is close to Togo, in the Upper East, and they are in Hamili and in so many other places. They are all connected, okay? They are all connected. So it is not as if we don't know how to do it. It is just that we haven't allowed the excellence and the opportunity to seep into our public sector. That is the issue that we are facing. And if we did that, you will see a big difference. So I am interested in excellence. I'm interested in excellence, but when I say excellence, we sometimes disagree as to where the excellence should come from. If I am at my own home, I'm looking for excellence, you are looking for excellence. When you go to work, you are looking for excellence. If you go to UT Bank, they are looking for excellence. But where is it that the excellence is lacking? The excellence is lacking where we have our biggest problem. If I were to ask you today, what is our biggest problem in Ghana, what would you say? I disagree. I know that as in right now we are facing do so. Fine. But I want to say to you, as people who are going to go out there, and I'm hoping that many of you will be in the teaching profession, because the teaching profession, you are the ones who then influence the lives of many, many, many other people. But if you don't go into teaching, you also get into other areas, and we all have a way of influencing what happens in Ghana. You are amongst the best people that we have in this country, without any doubt. You are like me. We are the lucky ones. We are the ones who, if you will, escape the system. Because the system as we know it in Ghana, it leaves the majority of our people back at home. Most of the people you know, all of you know, they are not here. They're not in Legon. They are not at KNUST or whatever. They are at home somewhere. Because we leave the majority of the people out there. But we are the lucky ones, and we, the lucky ones, must have a certain perspective in life that allows us to deliver the rest to this modern world. So the biggest problem, I believe, we have in Ghana, and those of you who don't like to hear anything that has to do with government or politics, you can close your eyes for the next 2 minutes, and years as well. My point is, and it's not a political point, my point is that we have a 1992 constitution. That 1992 constitution has taken virtually all the powers in Ghana, centralized them in one position. And that position is the position of President of the Republic. Now, I am the head of Group Nduom. If I took all the powers to myself, so that none of my CEOs or MDs or whatever can take any major decision without consulting me, and I'm the only one who appoints anyone of any importance, the companies would not work. Or you don't think so? The companies won't work. If everybody has to come to me, and then if they make a mistake, I do all sorts of things to them, they will leave the work, and they say, okay, the work, the business belongs to you, everything belongs to you. They will all walk around and then watch me to see if we can do the work. But it's not possible for me as the one person to do the work. So why then do we write a constitution that says this one person, you want to be the head of VRA, he will appoint you. You want to be the head of ECG, is that person. If you want to be the head of VACO, it is that individual. That same individual is the one who also appoints all ambassadors. The boards of directors of many of the state corporations we have, they are appointed by the same individual. Of course, he picks his ministers, okay? But then he picks the regional ministers, and then he will reach into all the district assemblies all over the country to appoint all the chief executives and one third of the members in the assembly. The one individual. Whether the person is called Mahama or Kufuor or Atamils or Nduom doesn't matter. One individual, and it is wrong. And it is one of the reasons why we are suffering. Because everybody looks up to one person in Accra. It is one of the reasons why the education issue, this matter, has not been resolved. Because I was a minister, that problem was there. And the people, they will bring it, they will do all the things, then they will take it to cabinet. For cabinet to make some decision. What does cabinet know about how you put somebody on a payroll? It's a matter of technology. It's a matter of budgeting properly, and it's a matter of finding the right people to go and implement it. But what does Kufuor have to do with that? Or today, what does Mahama have to do with it? So if we decentralize properly, and we gave proper responsibilities to people to do their jobs and do them well, my friends, we will not have these many difficulties that we are experiencing. Because we have done tests all over the country, the private sector, and I'm telling you, our tests are working. So you go to Wechao. Who knows where Wechao is? Wechao is in Upper West. That is where the Hippo Sanctuary is, in Upper West. There's no financial institution there except for GN Bank. And we've gone and put one there. You should go and see how it changes the lives of people when all of a sudden there's a dependable financial institution in a place like Wechao, or a place like Hamili, or a place like Nandom, or a place in Daman in the Western region, or Germany in the Volta region, and so on and so forth. So we've tried it, and it works. You give responsibility, you bring technology, you find good people, it works. We did an experiment which Sunday talked about here in Elmina. And if you go on the road to Coconut Grove, from the Cape Coast Takoradi Road, you'll find that we've built an industrial estate. What we said was, let us see if we can build a factory, not just one, but 2 or 3 of them, right there in Elmina. Many people said, why? Why not Tema? Why not Accra Industrial Area? But we said, no. You can't take everything in Ghana and push them to one corner. So we said, we'll try it there. If you go there today, you will find that they are producing food trays, so that you go to ShopRite that used to import them from somewhere else is buying from there. We're trying now to export those products to Israel, to Gran Canaria Islands, and other places. And it's from Elmina. So I'm here to tell you that this country, Ghana, has possibilities. It has possibilities. We have no reason to have people like you sitting in a university like this and wonder that when you leave here, would you find a job? There's no reason. And I'm a perfect example for you, because where I come from, many of you, you've been there. Elmina. I'm a proper Elmina boy, from class 1 to wherever else. And that is where I go. And if I can rise from where I came, then why can't you be 10 times bigger than I am?